All right, guys, what is up? You are back for another video with Datazero. This is your weekly outlook and prediction for stocks and crypto. This video is not financial advice, should not be taken as such. Let's go ahead and hop in the charts, facts, data, show you guys what's going on for this week. This week is going to be absolutely insane, ladies and gentlemen. We have a lot of things popping off. So the first thing I want to start us off with here is Bitcoin did officially make a new all-time high here over the weekend, $119,573. I'll talk about what you want to see here for Bitcoin and crypto here at the end of the video during the crypto section. We also have some major news coming out here for the meme stocks, okay? So James Gunn Superman came out here and has performed #1 in the box office, ladies and gentlemen. That's huge, beating all other movies coming out as of right now. We're looking at $122 million opening weekend here for James Gunn's Superman. And this is coming off the tails of Jurassic World and F1, which both did numbers at the box office as well. This is very bullish for AMC stock. And on top of this, you guys got to remember that we just got that recent upgrade as well. So things are looking very, very good for AMC stock fundamentally, in my personal opinion. And that is looking good for some potential upside here, which I'm going to talk about with the technicals as well. But I do want to keep you guys cautiously optimistic because we are in overbought conditions. Now, also, I want to show you guys some things going on here for GME as well. GME, we have a new fund buying, and I did report about this earlier as well. We have a new insider buying as well. So we had James G buying some shares, which I did report about 2 weeks earlier. And, of course, we have this new fund as well, Wealth Enhancement Advisory Services, LLC, opening a $1.9 million GameStop position. Last time we seen this happen, GameStop rallied to $37 when all of those funds were buying, and we've seen a lot of insiders buying. They are still holding a lot of this. If you look through this and get the details, you can see a lot of them are still holding, buying, and increasing. Some of them are selling a little bit, but if you look at this, there are still a ton of insiders and hedgies buying GME stock. So this is what we're looking at as far as the news is concerned. Let's go ahead and show you guys what the technicals are looking like here for AMC and GME. So right now, AMC is looking bullish, breaking out of this overall falling wedge. I do have one worry on my mind right now, though, this gap fill. Okay, we have a big gap fill to the downside here on AMC stock. I know some of you guys are going to be tired of these gap fills, but right now we're looking really good, really primed. But we do have a gap fill to the downside at 317 to 306. So we could come down and fill that gap, believe it or not, and still continue to the upside. What we're going to see here is a really, really mixed bag, because where we're at with AMC, we have to continue to keep pushing up hard. And I mean just rapidly continuing to either consolidate and move up levels towards 350, which I do think 350 is on the cards for this week. And if we break and hold 350, you're going to see the stock pump. But we're at such a point right now, because we're riding the bands right now, that if we don't keep going up, we're going to pull back hard. So I want to keep you guys in mind for that. I want you guys to keep that in mind, that we could see a decent pullback before continuing to the upside. But based off everything I'm seeing here, I really don't see why, even if we do pull back some here in the beginning of the week, like I think we might, percent banger. We had like a 12% banger last week, but this is more likely of what we might see here, as they are loading up with a ton of short shares. They're going to fight tooth and nail right now, but we're looking good, ladies and gentlemen. We're looking good, but I still want to keep you guys cautiously optimistic, because we've been here before, and then Adam Aaron has opened their mouth and then brought the whole thing down. So again, we just want to be cautiously optimistic. I'm kind of confused why Adam Aaron isn't tweeting right now that James Gunn Superman is doing #1 at the box office right now. Hopefully he does say something about it on Monday, but AMC definitely did numbers over this weekend, and the shorts are not going to be happy about that. Again, 5.9 million short shares here at time of recording, so they are loaded up. That means AMC short interest could continue to go higher. It's been climbing higher, 16.15%. If AMC stock continues to climb while the short interest keeps going higher like this, again, I'm not saying a squeeze could happen, but literally something could pop off. And with 16.15% short interest, that could see a decent amount of upside here for AMC stock. So if short interest goes higher and they keep trying to short, trying to make it go lower, they're literally digging their hole deeper for a potential bigger move to the upside if they do get squeezed. Now, we want to keep an eye on cost to borrow as well. Cost to borrow hasn't been moving up as much as I've been expecting, but normally when you see them shorting like this, you can see the gray volume bars. They're shorting a lot. They're shorting more than they have been before. You can see that they're shorting a lot, trying to keep the stock down desperately. Normally when you see that, you see cost to borrow move up all at once. So if we do see cost to borrow spike over this week, that's going to be a pretty good sign that price is going to go up. Because why? Normally when cost to borrow goes up, it costs more for them to enter short positions, which is good, and then we see less short pressure of them dumping short shares, so that allows price to go up. That's a simple reason why cost to borrow shows direct representation with price, and also it shows what's going on in the background with liquidity as well. Is liquidity freeing up or is it not? And cost to borrow can show us that as well. When cost to borrow goes up, that means liquidity is drying up. So this is what we're looking at. We want to see that cost to borrow go higher. Right now it's at 0.63% here for AMC. At time of recording, we're at 0.47% here for GME, and we're sitting at 2 million short shares here for GME. So they don't have as many short shares for GME as they do for AMC, but again, that is still a decent amount of short shares to try to keep GME down. GME is looking bullish as far as I am concerned, with the hedge funds buying more positions, which I'll get to here in a second. But again, with AMC, we're in a very key spot right now because you guys can see RSI is really overbought. So we might need to pull back. So if we do pull back, don't freak out. We might need to come down and fill this gap. But overall, I think when it's all said and done, we'll go back to the upside so quick that it will give us a green week. So I'm looking for a green week here for AMC stock, in my personal opinion. But we might see a little bit of pullback Monday and Tuesday, maybe even a little bit in the Wednesday. But I think we're going to start correcting to the upside, and 350 is on the cards here for AMC. But we might need to wait till next week to see that happen. I really want to see what happens Monday and Tuesday, because that's going to tell me a lot more. Like, are we going to continue to just pump up and keep going? Or are we going to have this pullback that I'm thinking we're going to have to see? Most likely you are going to see a little bit of pullback and downside consolidation before moving to the upside. So just keep that in mind. But right now, I cannot stress to you guys enough, AMC looks primed and can literally help lead the way for GameStop to start pumping. So let's talk about GameStop here. Again, hedge funds buying, insiders buying. We did have a little bit of pullback here on Friday after this big pop to the upside. They shorted us down hard. But I want to show you guys here the bigger charts. Okay, you guys can see the 4-hour time frame. Right now we have Bollinger Bands tight. We're above the blue medium line. Literally, we're looking like we're about to pop here on the daily time frame. We're above the blue medium line right now. If we stay above like this 2330, 2350, if we get above 2350 and hold that, you're going to see a decent pop to the upside. Look how tight the bands are right now. Green MACD. GameStop is literally ready to pop as well. So I am expecting a green week for GME as well. If we can start moving towards 2450 where the gap fill begins, and we can get above that, you're going to see GME move up rapidly, because there's little to no support and resistance here. There is support and resistance here, but because it's such a massive gap on the daily time frame, once GME gets into it, it's going to start to fly. And that's why they've been trying so hard to keep GME down and fight it down. But GME's been in basically an overall uptrend. So again, I think we're going to see recovery here for GME from that pullback here on Friday. $24 is definitely coming here for GME, but the ultimate goal is $24.50. Before we get there, we need to see $23.50 held. If we held $23.50, you're probably going to see that pop up towards $24.50. And once we get to $24.50, GME can start moving rapidly. And if AMC and GME start to push up together, that could put a ton of pressure on the short squeeze, on the shorts, which could potentially, I'm not saying, again, I don't want to get people too hyped, could potentially cause something to pop off, because look at the levels of short interest we're seeing right now. 16.15% here for AMC, and then we have up to 18.90% here for GME. So green week for AMC, green week for GME. I'm going to have to go for that on both of these. This is what we're looking at for your weekly outlook and prediction for the meme stocks. Great news as far as fundamentals are concerned for both of the meme stocks. And again, someone did ask me, did I see signs of institutions buying for AMC? Yes, but I see more of them buying GME. Again, you guys come to me for the honest truth, but institutions are definitely buying AMC. Again, you guys can see here, all of this pre-market action, that's institutions. So they're definitely buying, and things are looking bullish, and we could see a big green week here for the meme stocks if things continue to go our way. So I'm really excited to what we're going to see. But Monday and Tuesday are going to reveal a lot of answers, which I'll give you guys videos and live streams on. So hit that like button and subscribe, as I called this move to the upside before the news dropped and before it happened. Let's go ahead and go into SPY in the overall market, show you guys what's going on there and why I think what we're going to see is a slight little bit of pullback, but not before more upside. So let's hop in and show you guys why we think that. So right here I have my overall macro prediction here for NASDAQ. Now you guys can see NASDAQ Bollinger Band starting to get tight right now. Red MACD coming into play. RSI trending down as the price trends up here on the 4-hour time frame. That is called bearish divergence, but that doesn't mean we can't see NASDAQ pop to the upside, maybe retest this rising wedge. You guys can see it actually is starting to break down out of this rising wedge. That doesn't mean we can't pop to the upside and retest it and see a little bit more upside before pulling back. Now, NASDAQ has been the leader of all of this. This is why we're watching NASDAQ so closely. If you see what NASDAQ's going to do, you're going to be able to know what SPY does. When NASDAQ pulls back, SPY pulls back. When NASDAQ pumps, SPY pumps. I think SPY here in the morning, what you're going to see is a little bit of consolidation. You might see a little bit of pullback as futures are red right now at time of recording. We got to see if we hold 622.70 as support. If we do, you could see a push to the upside towards this gap fill. I think this gap might get filled this week, and that's why we might see some upside before the overall move down. 624.85 is where the gap starts. 626.27 is where the gap ends. And we do have some data drops here as well. Okay, so Monday, Tuesday, we might see a little bit of bullishness, and then the later half of the week start to see bearishness. Inflation looks like it might come out hot. Again, you cannot predict exactly what's going to happen based off the consensus and forecast, but it looks like it might come out hot. If it does, that would be bearish. We also have PPI this week. We have retail sales this month, housing starts, Michigan consumer sentiment, and building permit. The big thing is going to be PPI. And of course, the biggest thing is going to be inflation, but retail sales month over month is pretty big as well. PPI and core inflation year over year, month to month are going to be the biggest things here coming out on Tuesday. So do be aware of that and be ready for some volatility. If it does come out hot, that is going to be bearish for the overall market. This is why I have to go with a slight red week to red week here for SPY, as I believe we are starting to top out, showing signs of momentum fading, but we need to see that flattening out process of the bearish divergence, which can often occur with a run up to the upside. So this is kind of what I show you guys here with this white dotted line prediction of a representation of what you might see, where we kind of start to move to the upside and then we get a sharp pullback maybe midway through the week, maybe even a little bit earlier. Maybe here on Tuesday we start to see that movement to the downside. But overall, I think SPY is going to start topping out a little bit here and start to pulling back. But don't start shorting crazy. A lot of people start to short too early. You really want to see the loss of key levels before you start opening up those short positions. One key level to look at would be like 622.70. If we lost that, we could move down to like 621.20. If we lost 621.20, that would be a significant level that you would probably see a lot of downside. If that were used as resistance, you would see a lot of downside. But I think we could pop up here, fill the gap first before moving down. So again, slight red week as we push up a little bit higher, start to top out in the overall macro picture, and start to break down out of this rising wedge here on NASDAQ. And again, you can see here NASDAQ had a rising wedge before. You kind of flatten out, but you can see how we popped up a little bit higher before flattening out and then drop down. We could see that same thing here, but just a little bit smaller, a little bit more compact. So this is why I have this prediction right now, and this prediction is tracking. So this is what I'm looking at for SPY in the overall market. Slight red week. As you guys can see, RSI is trending down. Price is trending up. This is bearish divergence. We have this red MACD right here. Trump tariffs have been pushed back. The Middle East is not cooled down. It's still a powder keg, but we do have the ceasefire in play. And as far as major things happening right now, the news cycle is pretty slow, but we are seeing overall futures red. So this is why I think we're going to see a slight red week when it's all said and done. So that's what I'm looking at for SPY in the overall market. Again, I think we can come up and fill that gap before pulling back to the downside. Gap starts at 624.85 and ends at 626.27. So that's what I'm looking at for SPY in the overall market. Let's go ahead and go to crypto BTC and then wrap up this weekly outlook and prediction. So crypto news right now, it's a crypto week, ladies and gentlemen, as the USA goes pro crypto. If you don't know what's going on, there's a lot of crypto bills coming out really giving clarity on what a commodity is and what a security is. Also, President Trump has been moving to make the USA basically a crypto hub, because if we don't do it, this is his words, China's going to do it. They're going to innovate with crypto. We want to be the leaders in that field. We already have a lot of the Bitcoin miners based here. We are going to have pro-crypto legislation, and Trump is looking to make the USA a pro-crypto place. Bitcoin responded positively to this news. We got a big pump to the upside. I told you guys, brand new all-time high, $119,500. Right now, Bollinger Bands are getting tight. Red MACD, RSI starting to trend down, so we could see a pullback. If we go ahead and look at the overall fractal that we have here as well, it says that we could see a pullback as well. I'm going to go ahead and zoom it out for you guys and show you guys what we might see. But if this fractal is correct, which I'm going to keep tracking it and also use technical analysis for my predictions as well, because I did predict that we would see a pop based off the news that we were seeing a lot of institutions, nation states, funds starting to buy BTC, corporate holdings. GameStop was buying Bitcoin, and they were all buying it basically in the background, which is going to create supply shock, which you would see BTC's price pop to the upside, which it did indeed do. Then we got that movement to the upside. I called out that bull flag, and then we're getting all of this positive news as far as the USA moving forward with crypto as well, these bills moving forward. So again, I think we're going to see continued highs here for BTC. And as we range, this is going to bring in altcoin season. You can see altcoins are responding as well. But you got to be very careful. I broke this down a little bit in a short video. I think some altcoins are going to fade out. I broke it down in the live stream where I think like XRP is going to be, Ethereum's going to be, Bitcoin's going to be. But I think the top altcoin projects are going to be the few that remain. And a lot of these are going to get wiped out. Just like there was everything with .com when the internet was new, made money, but only a few things remained and got big, like Amazon and stuff like that. I think the same thing's going to happen here with crypto now. As far as the technicals are concerned, we could definitely see a pullback down here to this liquidity zone of like 102 to 97K. As we start to top out, this is what the fractal says is going to happen. And it looks like that's what technicals are saying is going to happen as well, as RSI is overbought. We just had this short squeeze to the upside. I don't see any bullish technical structures like I did with the bull flag earlier saying we could go higher. So we might see a little bit of pullback, but if we do, it's not going to be anything major. Just going to be a flush out before seeing new all-time highs. I did tell you guys that 115 is coming before 2026, and I do believe 125 is still on the cards here for Bitcoin as well. If we did pull back and come back down for that liquidity zone, that pop to the upside that we get here is a higher high. So that would probably be our 125 price target once we make that higher high later down the road, if this fractal does still continue to track. Now, if we were to deviate from the fractal, how we would know is Bitcoin would break 119.5, that's $119,500, and hold that as support. If you were to see that, Bitcoin's going to go to price discovery mode, and if we see the 125 early, this fractal has been broken, and Bitcoin's on a different track, which I'll use technicals to call what's going to happen next. Again, I've never been wrong about a Bitcoin call so far. I called 80 and 100K way back when I identified this falling wedge here, and people probably thought I was crazy. I basically said accumulation here is going to be very, very good, and that turned out to be crazy accurate. As you guys can see, we pushed to the upside massively. Anything under 28K, I said it over and over and over again, you're going to be doing very, very well. Now Bitcoin sits at over 100, almost 100K later. So you guys can see Bitcoin is going to continue to go well. I broke it down on the live stream a lot on why it is. So if you want more details on that, go ahead and check that out. But I want to show you guys some technicals here for Ethereum, XRP real quick, and then wrap up this video. So Ethereum needs to hold $3,000. If it does, you could see a decent move up, but it's really going to depend on if Bitcoin can maintain momentum. But Ethereum is in a huge accumulation, which I think is going to break out here soon. I want to touch you guys up here on XRP's market cap. It broke out, which I told you guys if it did, that's going to send XRP flying. Also, potential for XRP BlackRock ETF. If that happens, XRP is going to go even more crazy. XRP, XDC, XLM are going to be like the new SWIFT system. Some coins that I'm looking at. that are popping off. Algorand is fire. HBAR, XLM, XDC, ADA, Ethereum. Those are some altcoins that I'm looking at are absolutely fire. I do hold Algo, XLM for full disclosure. XRP as well is going to be one that's popping off. XRP, as far as technicals are concerned, I think we're going to see a new all-time high, especially if we get that BlackRock ETF. But we have these sell walls here that if we can get past like 302, man, this thing's going to really start to move. Right now, at time of recording, we're sitting at 283. We have support around 275, so we'll probably consolidate here. If Bitcoin pulls back, you're definitely going to see XRP pull back, altcoins pull back. But I really think that we could actually see a continuation to the upside on, I think, almost everything, even Bitcoin. I think we might deviate from the fractal, ladies and gentlemen. So we really want to see if Bitcoin can break above 119,500. If it does, it's going to go back in the price discovery mode, probably push to 120 or higher. I'm going to be watching this very, very closely. So make sure you tune into the live stream, guys, because big things are coming for crypto. So again, coins that I'm looking at: XRP, Algorand, HDC, XLM, HBAR. These are going to be fire. The major plays are like XLM, XDC, XRP. Bitcoin, of course, is going to be huge, as it's going to be the gold. XLM, XDC, XRP is going to be like the new Swift system. Everything's going digital. Just check out my live stream. Ladies and gentlemen, this was the weekly outlook and prediction. Things are going to be crazy this week for meme stocks, crypto, and DZ fam is going to get what they deserve, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to support the channel in a different way, you can check out the merch store. I'm rocking some of the merch right now. You can also hit the like button, subscribe, comment, share. That's a way you can support for absolutely free. I also have a Discord as well, which is $100 for a lifetime invite. You get exclusive buy and sell signals. But ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate it if you made it this far. This was a long video. As always, y'all, have fun, stay safe, make money. Peace out.